Hello everyone! We're already in July 2026, and there are a lot of great roguelike or roguelite games coming out. So for today's video, I'll be sharing the best new roguelike or roguelite games you should be playing this July 2026. Well, let's get into the list. First, we have Ascend to Zero, an action roguelike that will casually steal 9 hours of your life before you even remember to eat. In this game, you get 30 seconds to clear a level, which sounds like an absolute nightmare until you realize you can freeze time dead in its tracks. Once your crazy build finally clicks, you become a walking fireworks accident, deleting the entire room. The entire meta is just one-shotting bosses to chain infinite free time stops like an absolute god. It's unbalanced, it's a Diablo loot fest, and the loop is pure gold. Next up is Deadweight, a gorgeous turn-based pixel art roguelite that lets you live out your ultimate steampunk sky pirate fantasies. You get to captain a flying ship, micromanage finite fuel, and fight literal ancient gods who just woke up from an eternal slumber. The twist? The turn-based combat happens on an absolutely tiny grid, so one wrong step and your trusty crew is ancient history. The loop is incredibly satisfying. Exploring floating islands, hoarding loot, and upgrading your ship is pure dopamine. It's the perfect tactical adventure to make you completely forget your real-world responsibilities.
Upgrade your ship and skills.
Hardcore psychedelic game.
Next up is Kaz, a psychedelic arcade roguelike that transforms grid clearing into pure adrenaline. The gameplay is brilliantly simple. Enemies pop up on a grid, and you smash a basic 4-button WASD layout to target and obliterate them before the timer hits 0. Every single input hits like a musical beat, turning the game into a fast-paced, twitchy rhythm flow state. Between rounds, you draft from a massive deck of items, weapons, and spells to break your high score. It gets painfully RNG heavy in the endgame, but it is an absolute masterclass in casual dopamine.
Wow! I'm crushing it! Let's freaking go!
Next up is Chasing the Dawn, a gorgeous hand-drawn pixel art roguelike that plays like a dungeon crawler mixed with high-stakes gambling. Instead of button mashing, this is a probability management game where you navigate dungeons by calculating the odds of random events, traps, and enemy fights, and one bad calculation will completely ruin your day. You pick from 5 unique heroes, hoard powerful runes, and pray the RNG gods are having a good week. When you inevitably choke, you take your loot back to rebuild the village of Dawnville for permanent upgrades. It's essentially a classic dungeon crawler, but you're fighting with math. Next up is Soulforge Lost Path, a gorgeous pixel art mashup that asks, what if Vampire Survivors forced you to play Resident Evil Inventory Tetris? You play as Matilda, deleting underworld monsters while trying to stuff loot into a tiny backpack. You only get one active weapon, but you can constantly reforge it to inherit insane stats. Plus, it's also an extraction game. You have to survive until a minecart arrives to send your gear back safely. Pro tip, completely ignore HP and max out defense early for flat damage reduction. Break the stat scaling and live forever. Next up is Fogpiercer, a tactical roguelike deck builder where your deck is made of train cars and drivers. The combat is a turn-based tactical grid heavily inspired by Into the Breach. Instead of just trading damage, you use your cards to position your train, hack enemy vehicles, and shove bandits into hazards, cliffs, or right into each other for explosive chain reactions. You are constantly outnumbered, so success means weaponizing the environment and maximizing limited action points. The game feels a bit lighter on content than its inspirations, but it's incredibly fun. Next up is Stackflow, a hypnotically addictive puzzle roguelike that will give your brain a massive hit of dopamine. Think of it like Tetris, but you're armed with illegal cheat codes. Instead of just clearing lines, you're fitting unique blocks together to trigger explosive chain reactions and beat escalating target scores. Because it's a roguelike, you get to draft game-breaking modifiers between rounds, like exploding stone blocks or obsidian that scales permanent multipliers. If you love the ridiculous game-breaking score multipliers of Balatro, this is your next obsession. Next up is Pass the Fear, a bullet hell roguelite where you have 12 hours to escape a corrupted island. You pilot a hilariously terrified crew like the Iron Bucket Knight and a random roadside nun, who are all petrified of dying but forced to fight anyway. The big selling point is the crazy weapon modding system. Instead of just upgrading a basic gun, you collect puzzle-like tile affixes, like Fragment or Growth, to completely alter how your bullets behave. You can stack trajectories for screen-melting fireworks or build a one-hit nuke. It's fast, chaotic, and perfect for anyone who loves breaking game mechanics while running for their life. Next up is Backpack Dungeon, a pixel art backpack management roguelike that is currently dividing the gaming community. The gameplay is pure grid management. You explore dungeons to hoard weapons and armor, but your inventory is your actual combat system. Your character fights automatically based entirely on how your items are arranged, like placing a whetstone right next to a sword to trigger bonus damage. Now, the game is getting a ton of online hate because it's filled with controversial AI assets, but if you just want a cheap, addictive backpack battles alternative, this game is pure dopamine. Next up is Dominion of the Forgotten, a co-op extraction roguelike where you and two friends sail into a literal mist-covered nightmare on a ticking timer. The goal of the game is simple: kill enemies, grab cool loot, and escape safely. If you die or run out of time, you lose all the normal gear you just picked up, but if you make it out, you keep special permanent relics. You equip these before your next match to get insanely overpowered starting buffs. It's perfect for friends who love hoarding loot and breaking the game. Next up is Frostrain 2, a cozy yet stressful post-apocalyptic roguelike where you're the final conductor driving humanity's last train through a freezing blizzard. The gameplay is a brilliant management puzzle. You buy, upgrade, and physically arrange train cars behind your locomotive. Every 10 seconds, a boarding cycle triggers where passengers enter cars randomly, generating happiness based on your specific car synergies and artifacts. It's basically Snowpiercer, but if the conductor actually had a driver's license and a functional brain. Next up is Meta Ghost Breaking Show, a flashy 3D cyberpunk roguelite that asks, what if Hades was a futuristic reality TV show hosted by Twitch chat? You play as a cyber-enhanced contestant smashing killer robots on a live stream, pulling off flashy combos to please corporate sponsors for elite combat buffs. The neon graffiti art style is absolute eye candy, and the hacking feel is super juicy. However, the game can feel a bit button-mashy after a few runs, but farming chat clout with friends in co-op is an absolute blast. Next up is Hell Maiden, an action horde survival deck builder that asks, what if Dante's Divine Comedy was a magical girl anime? You play as a memory-wiped, gender-bent Dante fighting through the 9 circles of hell. The main loop is simple. You fight off thousands of demons in arena battles using a deck of weapon and modification cards to auto-attack. As you survive, you literally steal enemy abilities, craft broken combos on the fly, and rescue ancient poets like Homer to unlock permanent upgrades. It's a frantic literature-themed survivors-like where you deck build your way back to heaven. Next up is Tears of Metal, a hack-and-slash co-op roguelike where you lead an army of angry, screaming Scotsmen against brutal invaders. The gameplay loop is massive battlefield chaos. You and 3 friends fight giant hordes of enemies while commanding a literal battalion of soldiers. You combine emblem synergies with 100 artifacts to unlock broken combat skills, all while your NPC troops level up and gain permanent traits. Between runs, you build up a cozy village to unlock gear. It's basically Dynasty Warriors, but powered by pure bagpipe energy.
Through blood, fury, and bone, their legends would sing, and they would fight the sword.
And taking the #1 spot is Pathogenic, a 2D twin-stick roguelike where you play as a lone parasite waging war against a human immune system. The gameplay is frantic arcade shooting with a brilliant twist. Instead of boring stat upgrades, you hunt down immune cells, rip out their organelles, and graft them directly onto your body. By linking parts like mitochondria and flagella, you craft wild game-breaking skills that you can tinker with mid-match. With its mind-blowing virus customization, stellar soundtrack, and a highly addictive gameplay loop, Pathogenic is a top-notch roguelite that gets an incredibly easy recommendation. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more exciting new roguelike and roguelite games. That's it, and see you next time.